Welcome to season 5 and Be Great podcast. I am your host, Latonya McDonald, back again, spiritual, psychological life coach. We back, y'all. We are back. The last time I spoke to you, I turned 40. I turned 40 years old. And people usually, what they do is they ask if it feels any different. And no, not really. I mean, I just have so many questions. Like, what am I allowed to do? What am I not allowed to do now that I'm 40? Because I, I don't think I act my age, but if you've been listening to me, I do not know what an adult is. I really, because as I would always ask my clients, especially when I have clients that are younger, they like school age clients. What do your parents look like when they're angry? Do they look like an adult or do they look like a toddler? And all of them 99.99999% of the time they say toddler. And, given the knowledge of psychology and trauma and it being taboo to work on your mental health, just because you may look like an adult doesn't mean that you act like one, right? So, I don't know. Like, I still want to wear my bright colors, okay? I still, hmm, I still want to go to dance classes. I still want to make crafts. I still want to play games, okay? Whether it video games or board games, online games. I still want to do all of that. So I don't know. Of course, I'm responsible, you know, but yeah, I don't know what that means. But this season of my life, this season 5 with you all, this is a place where it's not necessarily about the destination, it's about the journey. And I love to be able to inspire people through my journey because oftentimes your journey, your story is the cure to help a lot of people. And I've always been someone that likes to practice what they preach. I would say this season, season 5, I am continuing the process of loving myself out loud and being myself out loud, whatever that is going to look like. I spent too many years being trained to just keep quiet and not offend people with my light. And now, okay, we're not doing that no more. All right. I'm 40. It is that version of Latonya has died. She's gone. Okay. I had to let her go. And recently, I want to say shortly after my birthday, and I had a really good time at my birthday. I usually struggle with anxiety. I don't know if I said this on the finale, but I usually struggle with anxiety around my birthday and really anything for me. I just struggle, and when it comes to planning, oftentimes I would tell people last minute. There was a stint where I didn't tell people last minute, where I was on top of it because I had like 3 near-death experiences 3 years in a row around my birthday. And by the 3rd one, I was like, I'm stop taking my life for granted and get it together and celebrate my life. But part of it was, let me rip the Band-Aid off so that people, if they don't show up, it's because I told them too late and it's okay. It doesn't, I don't know, it's kind of like shielding me from what if I did give people enough time, would they show up for me? And what does that say about me? Because I equated people showing up for me to my value, to who I'm valued or what I'm valued as a person, right? So this healing journey, when you are learning about yourself and you're doing the work, the shadow work, the working on the trauma and things of that nature, it's not for the faint at heart. It takes a whole lot to face yourself. It's way easier to face everybody else's issues than your own. Way easier to call out someone else's issues than your own in this world. And I just applaud and I thank all the people, whether you're my client or not my client, whether you're somebody else's client. Thank you people that are doing the work, and whoever's out there that is considering it or don't know if they need it, listen, thank you too for even just considering that, hey, I want to put myself first and love on myself and work on my issues so that I don't bleed on somebody who didn't cut me, right? So I could be an actual good person instead of performing like I am. But I have to be a good person to myself first. And that's what a lot of people miss. And yeah, I'm trying to stick to it because shortly after my birthday, I think it was a Pisces moon or something, and all these different readings just kept saying things like you are going to face the depths of your soul because Pisces was in a particular planet, I believe it was Saturn, and for I think they said 35 years, and now it's being moved. So without, confusing you all, for those who are not, hip to astrology just yet. Basically, that part of sadness where you feel like if I go there, I may not come out of it, right? I might drown in it. Basically, that shift was facing everyone to face that part of themselves, right? If they were willing, that was the time where if you faced it and you came out of it alive, that part of you can now be released and you can elevate, you can move on with your journey. Okay, so I like to describe it as the abyss, right? Some of those of us who can't swim, I'm gonna work on it. I'm gonna work on it this summer, for real. I am, for real. I'm gonna work on it this summer. But anyways, those of us who are afraid of like ships because of the Titanic and going on cruises and afraid of like the depths of the ocean, it's a tad bit different than a cliff, climbing Mount Everest and looking down, or climbing the tallest building and looking down. It's a tad bit different because at least if you make a decision, you're going to hit the ground, right? But the ocean, I think was it Black Panther 2? Black Panther 2, how it started off where they went down in that submarine and it was just all black. You couldn't see a thing. Okay? And you don't know how far it goes because you can't see from where you're at how you that scary part, right? That's what I equated to. That feeling you get at just the thought of being so far down that you can't see, right? That part of your soul. That part of your soul. Or the part where people feel as though if I face that part or if I let my thoughts go there, I'm terrified that if I let my thoughts go there, I may not make it out. Okay. Well, during that shift, y'all, I went there. I went there. I went to the bottom, to the bottom, I went. I was scared, but I went anyways. I went anyways, and it said that the readings would say, that you'll specifically feel it if you have water signs in your big three. That's your sun, your moon, and your rising. Okay. And I am all water. Okay. My sun is in Pisces. My rising is in Scorpio. And my moon is in Cancer. So there was no avoiding this for me, to me specifically. It just wasn't, because that's all emotion. All of it. Okay. Emotion, transformation, nurturing, the unknown, all of it. Illusions, delusions, everything, every possible feeling you could feel is right there. Okay? It's right there inside of me. And I went. And you guys see, I survived it. I survived it, but now what did it feel like? It, it felt like death. It felt like death. And no one could save me but me. And I'm somebody who I really don't like to, I like to save all my issues from a therapist, right? I really don't like to call on my friends and family, sometimes not even my husband, for those thoughts, right? That are the darkest of the darks, the worst of the worst. When you think about yourself, right? And I faced the gravity of that, like the gravity of performance, the gravity of, if let me hide my true self so that I don't upset anybody, so I don't scare anybody away. Let me disappear. Let me silence my emotions, even though they're tearing me up inside, and not let people see it. Right? And in that space, you teach people how to treat you, because they don't think anything's wrong with you. They may see a post on Facebook. They may not see a post on Facebook. They could, they just, I don't know, like, they could, with social media, people can take this picture of you or the last time that they spoke to you, and it doesn't matter. It's even worse with social media, but the last time they spoke to you could have been a year ago, right? 2 years, 3 years ago, certain people in your life. And they feel like they hold that image of you as being fine, right? And that's that. They don't know to reach back and check, because you're one of the ones that they don't have to worry about, right? And if you're a natural helper or you're a natural empath, where you feel other people's emotions deeply, you can go right there and sit right there with them as if it's happening to you. You will attract people like that around you, right? And they may also be people that, okay, I'ma hold this because I don't want anybody else to feel this. And then when I get over it, then I'll resurface and come talk to people, right? But I want to get through this alone. I don't want to burden anybody. I don't want to they look like last time I spoke to them, they was happy. I don't want to, you know, burden anyone, right? During that time, you teach people how to treat you. All of us do. And I'm good right now during this phase of my life of calling people out on that, calling myself out on it when I do it, right? I'm good at that now. But now, after facing that part, the new version of me that emerged after I went there, okay, like when I say it felt like death, it felt like it just by whoever that was beforehand. that told you you had to stay silent, right? Compassion for you, but you gotta go. I know why you did it. Thank you for protecting me all this time, but right now you're doing more harm than good, and I got to take you out, okay? But yeah, that part felt like death. Felt like I was dying alone based off of my own decisions. It was painful. Very, very painful. But I went there and I got out. And how I got out was just the mere fact that for years, I will say anybody who is self-aware of their own thoughts or their own perceptions of what success looks like or what life should look like or what a good person is, what you've been trained to think, our perception of life and ourselves. We have thoughts of what if, right? And they're your biggest fears ever. What got me out is I was like, wait a minute. I went there. The place I've been afraid to go for so long. I went and I'm still here. So then if I could do that, just going there was terrifying. Then in the physical, there's gotta be more, right? Like if you like actually face your biggest fear, just face it. Just face it. Like that boost of what if I can't get out of it and going anyways? I don't know. It did something. It unlocked something. I'm being more honest now with how I feel and where I'm at mentally. And if I don't, because spiritually, right? Whether you believe in luck, good luck, karma, whatever the case may be, once you know something, you can't go back to unknowing, right? It's code of ethics spiritually, I believe. That's what that's called. The bylaws, right? Spiritual bylaws say, just like, when you're a lawyer, you could lose your license because you know better, right? Doctor, malpractice, you can get sued for because you know better. Once you know better, okay, anything that reflects that you don't, you'll be punished heavily for it, okay? So now that I know better, that, hey, I can survive the scariest part, then I can survive anything. And that doesn't mean like now go be a daredevil and think you could tightrope tomorrow, okay? Cross buildings. That doesn't mean that. If you want to tightrope across some buildings, that means you got to practice. Practice on the ground first. Go to tightrope camp. Still practice, but you're going to survive the process. You're going to survive the journey there, right? To accomplishing your dreams and do it anyways. Do it anyways, just to say that you did. Because what comes up afterwards when you face those fears, you get to write up, another notch on your belt you can put in your feel-good arsenal. Okay? Put it in your feel-good arsenal when you forget who you are. Reach back in that arsenal and shoot them negative thoughts down. Shoot that fear down. That's how that works. For me, specifically. And my clients. And for those of you who have been listening for a minute. That's how that works. You have to. But the support system. Okay? There's the next process is reintroducing myself to the people I care about that I want in my life, regardless of whether they're going to accept it or not. They don't accept it. That's part of my spiritual protection, to get them away from me, right? To not put in my energy into someone who refuses to accept this version of me that no longer is hiding, that is emerging and evolving. Because not all will be revealed because it's still being revealed to me. I wasn't aware. I was aware that I was silencing myself, but I wasn't aware, right? Because it just seemed like I'm supposed to silence myself. That was the training. That's the human training. That's the human training. The archetypes that we choose. We come down here, we see the archetypes, and we make a decision which one we're going to be. And if you never do the work on the price you have to pay to live in that full expression of that archetype, you can lose yourself. You forget your purpose. You end up living for a performance instead of actually living for your life. Like, I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but instead of finding your why and using that to take full advantage of this experience. Now, most of the reason why we hide ourselves is that fear of being alone, of not being accepted. Now my mind is like, if I'm not accepted, I wasn't supposed to be accepted by that person. Let's move on, live out loud, and allow my tribe to find me. Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Allow my tribe to find me. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. So season 5. Oh, let's see how it goes with this new version. Let's see if I sound different, if I talk different. Maybe, maybe not. Let's see if you all notice a change. Maybe, maybe not. I hope you do. Or maybe you find me on this season 5 and that's just it. Because this was the time you're supposed to find me. Who knows? Whatever will be, will be. But I want to take control of my life. I want to be in the driver's seat, not the passenger seat, and letting shame and fear drive me off of my path. I don't want to do that. I don't. So I'm excited. Truly, I truly am. And if you're afraid, I'm not saying that you all have to face that depth of the ocean, the darkest part. You don't have to. It's an option. Some people, of just the thought of having to face it sometimes is motivation enough to take charge of their life, right? But I don't know, this one felt like I had no choice. This was just a drop, like when you don't know what's that? Is it called acrophobia? Whatever that ride is at Six Flags that you go all the way to the top, however many feet, and you just get dropped down. That's what it felt like. Like I didn't have no choice. But I survived it. I survived it. I did. And I'm grateful. Because maybe I needed to. Maybe I wrote it that way in the soul contract. Maybe I signed it. That at this time, shortly after I turned 40, I was going to break free from the act. Now, listen, my wants are still my wants, my dreams are still my dreams, my goals are still my goals, but it's not going to be in a way that it's not going to be led by fear. It's going to be led by certainty. It's going to be led by it's on my heart, so I'm going to do it. And if I fail or succeed, it's all purposeful. It's not a loss, it's a lesson. I adopted that a very long time ago, and that has gotten me through. Okay, but, you know, that's that. That is that. Thank you all for tuning in to this first episode of season 5. Ready for the next season. And I'm grateful for you, my listeners, to be on this journey with me. Like, share the episode, follow me on all the places, because I'm showing up and I want y'all to hold me accountable. Hold me accountable. If you see an old post and you haven't seen me post in however long, comment and, DM me. Where you at, girl? Where are you? Come on. No times are hard right now. So now more than ever, we need to be our authentic selves and we need to make sure that the people around us accept that authenticity. But also, we have to do the work. Can't get there without doing the work on ourselves, doing that shadow work, whether you have a coach, whether you got a therapist, whatever the case may be, whether you go on retreats, you got an accountability circle, whatever. It's time. It's time. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Thank you for listening. And don't forget to give yourself permission to not just live, but to live and be great.